our next speaker, again, like I mentioned earlier today, today's programming really tries to delve deep, wants to delve deep into growth, various aspects of growth that you can actually take back to your businesses in an actionable kind of way. Our speaker today is going to give us industry insights when it comes to when MENA is going to have a multi-sector global giant, a tech giant to be specific. It's a question that many have asked for several years. We have yet to see a global behemoth coming out of this region in the tech space. Our speaker, Jamil Shinawi, is the co-founder, CEO, and chief change maker at Ahoy, which is an orchestration tech stack for movement and field ops. Right from his first startup in hardware at the age of 16 to his journey as an international serial entrepreneur, he's had several successful exits behind him, and I have no doubt he's going to be presenting us with a lot of food for thought. So Jamil, it's time for us to hear from you. Please welcome Jamil to the stage with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Jamil.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so how many of you identify as a startup entrepreneur or somebody who's going to delve into a startup? By show of hands. Uh, uh. Okay, the astronaut as well. Okay. So how many of you would identify as an investor into startups? Okay, one. Okay. So, in all honesty, the MENA ecosystem is broken. Let's speak just heart to heart for a moment. I don't have slides. I'm here to speak just truthfully and honestly. The ecosystem is broken, and it's broken very badly. There are a lot of issues. Some of them are generational even, and we can't fix it in one generation, of course. So, to start, just as food for thought, in most of our societies, where a VC will tell you in MENA, we prefer a warm introduction. You get that a lot, right? Okay. Now consider the following. In most of the MENA societies, most of the social networking happens in a gender-segregated majlis. Now, isn't that an issue? This is where we start. Okay, let's go way back. You know, you're 3 years old. They taught you how to speak. And now they're going to spend 60 minutes telling you how to be complimentary of others, be quiet, be nice. Freedom of speech and freedom of expression are two different things. And that's why MENA-based founders find it hard to actually innovate, I believe. This is my personal hypothesis. You can follow me on LinkedIn, read, I write a lot about that. But we suffer from a lot of inequalities, but not just within MENA. We actually suffer from these inequalities, and they're not only age-based. Like, you know, why a founder has to be 16 to 30? Who said that? Somebody who just retired is founding a startup. Why not? I don't see an issue in that. So it's also okay to have, I don't know, the pregnant founder. It's not an issue, really. There are stereotypes, and they're solid in MENA. But the VC culture in MENA is not helping either, if I'm being very honest. Actually, the VC MENA in culture, to me, sounds like private equity, but branded as venture capital. I mean, that's how it sounds. There is no risk for appetite, no appetite for risk whatsoever. The ecosystem is very sheepish to risk. And that's why we do, mostly in MENA, is make the Uber of this and copy something that worked actually in Silicon Valley and replicate it here. Innovation is so scarce. You have to understand, when we copy something that happened in Silicon Valley, it's because they actually grew. They actually had their deep tech first, their tech infrastructure second, They're multi-sector tech giants. The Googles, the Microsofts, the Oracles, they built that. And then they went to the smaller end of the stick to just, leave no money on the table and went and made some more startups, apps, use cases, even way down the stream, way down in the value chain. They're still big, but there is a lot more. Now, in MENA, we don't lack anything. I mean, half of Google comes from India. We're actually closer to India than the valley, So we actually lack nothing. We don't lack the money. We don't lack the amazing environment. I mean, look at Dubai. This is Gitex. 170 countries. People from 170 countries are here. That's actually extremely diverse. I believe in diversity. The issue is fundamentally in the culture. I'm not talking here about our culture as people. No, the business culture. Because there are a lot of stereotypes. You don't have to be an ex-McKinsey, ex-EY, ex-consultant, big, to actually make it. Yes, there are stories that happened, but doesn't mean it's a rule. You don't have to be of a certain age group or gender to actually do it or be successful. In fact, you don't have to be from a certain tribe as well. And these are things that I got asked even yesterday, personally. Which tribe you're from? Which ex-Ivy League did you graduate from? Ex-McKinsey, ex-this, ex-that? Are you not? Okay, I actually have about 9 exits. Doesn't matter. That is bad, guys. And if the 9 exits mattered, that's also bad. There isn't a stereotype to success. There just isn't. There is passion, there is people. If we take risk, there is space in the ecosystem, in the economy, to take that risk and do M&A. Let somebody start. If you're a VC, if you're an investor, and if you're a founder, start without a product market fit. What's wrong with that? I know, sounds very shocking to most of you. Actually, this is a very good practice. If we start without a product market fit, if we just follow our curiosity, whether you're bootstrapped or even raising money, that's something between you and that person. One of the worst things I've ever seen was benchmarking deal sizes to stage. I mean, that's pseudoscience. That is using statistics to try and figure out what is the formula to success based on successful startups, and just do that. I mean, how is that different from horoscopes? Genuinely, this is where we are today in the Middle East, in startups. We have come a long way, but we shouldn't be happy with it because there is a lot of more room for improvement. And this is what I wanted to use my time for here today. Not to market Ahoy, which is very great, trust me. And you should actually come to Zabil 5 and have a look. I wanted to use this time to connect with all of you, to actually see if we can do something together, to actually drive this ecosystem to do something great. A multi-sector tech giant. I repeat, a multi-sector. You like focus. What's your product market fit? Did you go to Stanford? I really like you, man. This is how it happens. You meet somebody here in Gitex. I'm sorry, I'm busy, okay? 2 hours later, with a friend of yours. Hey, hi. Why is the warm introduction important? Why? Because, I'll tell you why. And that should be wrong as well. Because we are subcontracting. We are actually letting somebody else do the trust for us. We work on transitive trust. And this is not okay as well. We need to take risk. We really need to learn how to take risk. And if it fails, well, I'll take whatever you have. I'll take whatever you have. I'll merge it together. Maybe Kareem will buy it. That's what constitutes a real tech ecosystem. If we all do delivery, if we all do retail, if we all do Q-commerce, then it's okay for me to start a Shopify shop and say I'm a tech startup, which is wrong for the record. So a tech startup should not be something as simple as that. Please, rounds should not be benchmarked. Do not think of founders as a male who is young. Do not think about founders or unicorn founders as somebody who is with a perfect jawline, fit, went to an Ivy League, ex-consultant, speak a fake accent. That is not a unicorn founder. I might not be as well one. So there isn't a unicorn founder stereotype. I mean, they could be in a wheelchair. They could be a man, a woman. They could have some very strange mindset. You are not marrying that person. You are investing in their probability of success. You are not doing them a favor. Actually, without founders, the VC industry would not exist. That's your deal flow. We are very snobbish. Most of the investment has no real value. I have spoken to 180 venture capital companies in the last 2.5 years, and I went straight to their LPs. No value or no respect, or lack of professionalism, or wrong investment thesis, which might make them not choose me, or vice versa. But out of the minority of those, I have to say that rejections were like the minority, but the shocking ones. Yeah, you don't have that amazing CV, you know? I mean, come on. Okay, what is an amazing CV? You know, like, they want you to be one of the Kareem founders with a different name. Why? Because Kareem made it. We're proud of Kareem, all of us. We should be. But it doesn't mean it's the only way. That's the thing. Another one was, which family? Do I have an LP in there maybe in the future? Unfortunately, it actually happens a lot. Can you introduce me to investors? A fund asks you if you can introduce them to investors. These are all issues. They talk down to founders. That's wrong. You're not teachers. Founders are not students. And even if it was a teacher-student relationship, it shouldn't be like that. Now going and looking at your startup, if you're a founder, how do you run your startup? If you're running it as a top-down operation, as a military operation, if you are running it like a corporate, you won't innovate. Believe me, you will not. This is why corporate R&D fails. It never works, with all due respect to corporates. But some corporates succeed, but they have very radical practices in doing that. Guys, we need to reinvent the wheel. What works in the Valley, what works in Singapore, what works wherever, it will not work here. We need to look in. There isn't a formula to success, I repeat. There isn't. And we need to start, well, we need to stop, actually. We need to stop self-elimination, and we need to start unlearning. This is the key. Start unlearning and stop self-elimination. What's self-elimination? You're eliminating yourself as success. You are eliminating yourself as a trailblazer of a new path because I need to follow the data. The data doesn't apply to you. It's like, how is the stock market actually related to a startup value in MENA? How is Dow Jones and Wall Street affecting a valuation of a startup in the Middle East? I don't know, like I'm dumbfounded. These are the issues we need to look at. The inequalities, the wrong perceptions, the blind copying, not only on the investment side and the theses, but also on the founder side. Male founders who will only help male founders and women founders who will help only women founders, there is an issue there, genuinely. We're all humans. nationality, geography should not be a factor. So, are you based here? Ah, okay. So, it's like there is a hierarchy, you know? If you're based here, I'm not saying Dubai, like if you're based in a certain geography and you are a national of that country, you get a point, you know, you get 2 brownie points, and then, but you actually came from outside to start here, so it's like -1, but you got a great idea. You're an ex-consultant, so, you know, I'll add 2 more points. And so it doesn't work like that. By the way, 180 venture capital firms, none of them did tech due diligence. Not even one. That's shocking. Actually, 9 out of 10, that is 90%, exactly 92 if I have to be accurate, of all venture capital firms that told us our valuation was high, did not open our financial model. They will copy and paste a reason, and they will share notes. They will share notes, you know. I meet you, I'm a VC guy, huh? Of course, guy. And I'll tell you, nah, you're too high, you're too expensive. And then I'll go and tell all the other VC guys, yeah, they're expensive. These are my notes, and I didn't like them. And that's it. Everybody just borrows that judgment. Nobody wants to do it for themselves. We need to change that, and if we have time for Q&A, I would really love to hear from you. I hope this wasn't boring, because it wasn't intended to be. And we can continue the discussion on LinkedIn as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamil. Where can folks find you if they want to continue the conversation? Because you did raise some interesting points about cultural and systemic biases, which need to be out of the... Where can folks find you or connect with you if they want to continue the conversation? You can use your mic.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions or comments?
We're actually out of time here, but I'm
Okay.
sure they can reach out to you either offline, or are you somewhere in Gitex where they can connect
So
with
yeah,
you?
so we are in Zabil 5. Ahoy, wherever the logo was.
Okay. So now you guys know where to find him. Thank you so much, Jamil.
Have a good one, everybody.